What's up guys, and welcome to the third Mazda Rx8 Q&A answering session. My name is Chris, and alongside my friend Hillbill we'll answer all your questions that you've posted in the entry video, and this time we'll try to make it a little bit shorter than the previous one, so let's get right to it. Christos Panorama asked, can someone afford to own an RX8 while studying at the university and gets paid 600 euros per month from his part-time job? Well, in short, no. Because if you have rent to pay, food to pay and other bills, you'll have little to nothing left at the end of the month if you want to have your RX8, especially if you'll have your RX8 as a daily. So my guess is no, wait a bit, get a better job or finish university so that you have just a job and an income and then get your RX8. Mole asked, where did you buy the center console for the RX8? I need to replace mine. Well, I bought mine on eBay. I'll post a link in the description so you can check it out. Skyflyer asked, should I dark smoke tint my rear lights? Well, I think they look good, and I saw the picture that you posted of your RX8 and I think they would look good, but at the same time they will give the car that kind of a plasticky look, so it's up to you. Me personally, I would leave them stock, but bear in mind that in some countries tinting your taillights is illegal, so check with the laws before you get in trouble. Photoman54 asked, bro, do you lift? The only thing I lift are spirits, bro. Gabriel Diaz asked, I have an RX8 with 9,000 miles. Do you think I should leave it stock and keep the miles low, or mod it and just drive it? 9,000 miles, if these are the original miles, girl, keep it in the garage, keep it well maintained and everything. In a couple of years, this RX8 will be worth a lot of money. Jose Guadarrama asked, how to change your xenon headlight on your RX8? I have a video about it coming really soon, so stick around. True Sky Blue asked, dodgy aircon fix. Passenger side blows cold and driver side not so cold. Video on how to fix it is in the description, so check it out. Flying Dachi asked, I have an issue where I sit steadily between 5,000 or 6,000 RPM and then suddenly floor it. I have an engine stutter or hesitation. This is pissing me off beyond belief. Well, most of this can be caused by a worn out spark plug or a weak coil. And if this is not the solution, then check your compression, because low compression can mess with the ECU and the ECU then doesn't know what to do. So I think this is one of the causes of your stutter or hesitation when you want to floor it. Soam Laik asked, do a video on installing a performance radiator or installing a new front radio system that has Bluetooth, etc. It's already scheduled, so stick around. Dika asked, what about ignition sparks? They heard a rumor about some LS2 sparks that they put on Corvettes or something like that. What is your opinion about it, and how can we maintain them in good shape to last longer? Well, the RX8's ignition system was weak from the beginning. The coils are originally designed for a 4-cylinder engine, and on a 13B they have to work twice as often in a given amount of revolutions, and they also have to work in higher RPM ranges. This makes the spark plugs very hot and makes them wear out pretty fast. The LS spark plugs are much more heavier duty spark plugs and will theoretically last forever. Brian De Leon asked, where can you buy a rotary engine Renesis in case I need one day? Any website suggestions or certain spots? Well, I know that for Europe you have wankelmotorguru.de. The rest of the links or websites are posted in the description, so check them out. And also, if you guys know any shops or websites that sell Renesis engines and that I not posted in the description, leave a comment below so I can add them. Kochismama asked, is it worth to pay more for a facelift version? Which taillights do you like more, pre or post facelift? Pozdrav! Well, the facelift is a newer version of the RX8 and it has less rust compared to a Series 1 RX8, and also it has a lot of improvements made to the engine and to the car in general to make it more reliable. So yes, it is acceptable to pay a little bit more money for it, also because there are less of them on the market in general, which will make the price go up. And I like the Series 1 headlights better than the Series 2. Ray Hernandez asked, what is the best exhaust for my 2007 RX8? I riced it out and cut the pipe only halfway. Also adding aux. I bought the wire from the back of my radio, but it doesn't work. Should I pay $250 to have the Bluetooth solution installed? Well, first of all, Brian Spillner, before you go around wasting money on aux cables, Bluetooth and nitrous, check the firmware of your radio to see if it's compatible with these solutions. If it's above 9.71, I think you cannot install Bluetooth or aux or USB adapters. So before you buy anything, check first if it's compatible. And the exhaust choice really depends on your taste, so I'll put a link in the description. You can listen to a exhaust sound compilation and see what you like best. But my personal favorite one is the Toyo Sport. Iles Alex asked, do you ever think of going with your 8 on a road trip outside your country? If yes, where? Well, my dream road trip is to go to Lago di Garda, then go to Monte Carlo, the whole French Riviera, and end somewhere in Spain. Lowell Case asked, can you do a how to clean the throttle body because it tends to get gunked up? Sure, I'll put it on my list. OECV1 asked, can you see yourself buying an R3? If so, I'm assuming you would have to get it shipped to your country. I would have bought the R3 instead of my current RX8 if it was available in my country, but I don't think I will buy one. And if I will ship a car, I will ship a Nissan Silvia S15 from Japan to Slovenia. Manos Liolios asked, how much does an engine rebuild cost? Well, if you do it yourself, the full rebuild will cost you around 2,200 euros, parts alone. If you get an essential build, reusing oil rings and scraper rings, it will cost around 1,700 euros, parts alone. And if you have someone else rebuild your engine, it will cost around 3,500 euros. Fresh Kid 187th asked, any sound system recommendations? Well, the original Bose of the RX8 is kind of good, but the only one that I listened to that was better was the one that I have in my Peugeot 307, which I think was Alpine radio and DLS speakers, and I miss that sound system. It sounded amazing. But the sound system is really a very subjective thing, so go around to shops where they sell speakers, have a listen to some speakers, and then judge by yourself. Rotary X88 asked, so my RX8 has blue smoke when it starts up and it smells pretty bad. I don't know what's wrong with it. Well, maybe you've overfilled your oil, so clean out your map sensor and check for oil spots in the intake. But if this doesn't help, then it might be a worn out oil ring or scraper ring. So do a compression test because I think you might need a rebuild. Johan Frax asked, do you think an RX8 in the 2,000 euro range will need lots of repairs in the future? Also, how long do you think an engine with 80,000 kilometers on it will last if the previous owner wasn't taking proper care of it? If not taking care of it properly, 80 to 90,000 kilometers is where the engine usually breaks. So I would stay away from these cheap gambles of the RX8. You can find good ones, but it's a very high risk gamble. And also read the description really good and be careful for when it says it doesn't start when it's hot, low compression, just needs new apex seals, like it's a 5-minute job, and blue smoke or white smoke when it starts up and it doesn't go away. So stay away from this kind of RX8s. Pay a little bit more to have less problems in the future. Slim Shady asked, were your family and people around you supporting when you bought the RX8? Family no, friends yes, which makes kind of sense if you think about it. Jim Alvarez asked, COBB X-Sport or another tuning solution recommendation? Well, personally I don't know enough on this topic to give you an answer, but if any of you guys knows more on this, leave a comment and I will put it in the description. Non-advanced asked, I am looking for a drift project car. How well would an RX8 be as a drift car? Well, I'll let you know in September once I go drifting with mine. Faith Rat asked, dream garage with 3 cars, chose wisely. Nissan Silvia S15 spec car, Lamborghini Aventador Roadster, and Holden Maloo. Tech Mix asked, where do you recommend to order parts for the RX8? I live in Finland and here are not many shops for parts. Well, from experience, the biggest selection of parts for a normal price can be found on eBay UK and also on wankelshop.com. So I'll leave all the links that you'll need in the description, and also check out my video on 6 websites that every rotary owner should know. The link will be also in the description. Avdo and Fehim Pjevach I aktor. Svaka čast. I have an RX8 and it has been in the garage for a couple of years, and I started it up and it has been leaking some type of oil. Then I get this marker on my dashboard saying something about my cooling system. The two things might not be related, but if your RX8 was built before 2006, then your cooling level sensor can be worn out, so replace your coolant reservoir. And as for the oil leak, well, I can say you really need to go under and check where the oil leak is coming from, and when you know where it's coming from, then you can check how to repair that particular part that is leaking oil. Viewpok Tupac asked, what to check in a used RX8? Viewpok Tupac asked, what to check in a used RX8? Well, definitely you need to check the compression, the cold start, the hot start. You need to have a documented service history and also a documented engine rebuild. You need to check that it doesn't have white or blue smokes coming out of the exhaust. You need to check that the headlights don't have condensation inside them. You need to check the sun visors because they tend to crack, and also the buttons of the air conditioning. Also check the oil coolers in the front because they're exposed and tend to be damaged by rocks. And I will also suggest that you take an OBD2 scanner and scan the Rx8 if it has a check engine light to see if it's serious or not. Olmach L asked, well, he asked many questions, and for future references, please don't ask this many questions. You can ask one question and then the rest that you want to ask them in the future Q&A videos. So I let this one slide for this time, and I'll post a screenshot of the questions and answers so you can pause the video, read them in peace, and that's it for this question. Vasya Perc asked, Pozdravljen, is it okay to daily drive an Rx8? What are the biggest downsides of daily driving it? What customizations do you recommend to make it drive daily better? And can I count on an Rx8 to be unreliable daily? Well, if the engine is in a good state from when you bought it, then if you take good care of it, and if you follow the top 10 mistakes Rx8 owners make, then how to make your Rx8 more reliable videos that I make, you shouldn't have any problems. And the downside is the fuel consumption of daily driving your Rx8. So if that doesn't bother you, then go ahead. Ludak asked, can I have a spin with you? Pretty please. Only if you finish eating your vegetables. Fernando Lizano asked, do you also have to give a good amount of RPM for an automatic Rx8? Yes, because the engine needs the RPM, not the transmission. So it doesn't matter what transmission you have, you must rev your engine. RC Journeys asked, why does my 2004 Rx8 have power and then all of a sudden it doesn't have power and it comes and goes while I'm driving it? It's like something is holding it back and then all of a sudden it lets loose. Well, this could be an ignition problem like Flying Dutchie had, so check your ignition, spark plugs, wires and coils, replace them and see if the problem still persists. Seance1 asked, what are the best body kits, tuning, Bridgeport, best seal kits for rebuild, best tires for different climates, brake upgrades, suspension upgrades? Well, best is very subjective, so if you want to check the best body kits, I made a video on 6 websites that every Rx8 owner should know, link in the description. Then as for brakes, the Rx8 has good enough brakes for street use, so if you're not tracking your car hard, then you don't really have to upgrade them. And for other upgrades, follow my Rx8 drift build to find out. Brody Person asked, I heard from a rotary mechanic of 14 years that when turning off the car, you must rev it to 2500 RPM for 10 to 15 seconds and then turn it off. While this can help with burning the excess fuel in the chamber while the car is running rich, or if your car has very low compression, in general it has been proven that you don't need to do that. Brody also asked, what two-stroke coil would you recommend for premixing the 98 and then something with a Sean adapter? Just use a normal full synthetic two-stroke coil or the Idemitsu premix. And as for the Sean adapter, I'll make a video on that topic in the future, so stick around. Dreadlocks asked, I have the choice of going with a stock, non-rebuilt original engine 04 Rx8 6-speed or a newly rebuilt street-ported Rx8. Should I go for the ported or the original? If the ported engine was done by a good shop, then go for the ported engine, but beware that also the fuel consumption will be higher. Spartman D24 asked, I'm having trouble adding horsepower to my car. Any performance mod that will work? Series 1 Rx8. Well, it's less expensive to swap the engine with another one if you want to make considerable power. But if you want to make more power with the Rx8's engine, then install a turbo kit and have it tuned. Marvel83 asked, how many kilometers are left after the reserve light comes on? Well, you'll be very lucky to get 40 kilometers on the highway, but usually it's between 30 kilometers and 35. XXX Swagbot asked, what is the top speed of the Rx8? Well, the Rx8 is limited to 239 kilometers per hour, but the theoretical top speed is around 290 kilometers per hour. Michael Castro asked, is premix necessary for my car that is going to hit 100,000 miles? Well, yes, it is necessary, but if you choose to premix, take off your catalytic converter and your auto sensors and replace it with a D-Cat. Adrian Chaw asked, why you choose Rx8 instead of Rx7? Well, we don't really have Rx7s on sale here in Slovenia, and also I like the Rx8 since Need for Speed came out, so I like the Rx8 better in general. Mike Sorolas asked, do you believe that the Rx8 is a good first car for a car enthusiast? Well, if you just got your license, I will say get another car, get experience, and then buy the Rx8. If you already had some cars before, then yes, get an Rx8. It's fun. Adrian also asked, when are you going to do the Sean adapter mod? Soon. Xenix the Gamer asked, are you going to swap the engine from the RX8, and what should I check when buying a used RX8? Well, I don't think I will swap the engine of my RX8. I'll just do some mods in it to make more power and more torque if I'll need it for drifting. And as what to check for a used RX8, I've already answered the questions, so let's move on. Let's move on to the last question. Thomas64 asked, can you recommend this link to people? Here it is. I also recommend you check this link out. It's rx8club.com, the new member forum. Most of the questions that new owners have and also old owners want the new owners to know are written there, so definitely check this link out. It's in the description. And that is it for today. A very big thanks to you guys for taking your time to post the questions. Also, a very big thank you goes to Hillbill for helping me out with this. And I will see you guys on Monday when I will take my RX8 to the dyno to see how much horsepower does it have after 13 years.